Good afternoon, Mike with Woods, Water, and Wisdom here. I made it home in time to come out to the park and do a little different setting for you guys. So it's pretty out here. There's a nice little lake behind me here at the park. Wow, this light makes my highlights show up really well. Anyway, you're gonna get to benefit for pretty much a pep talk for myself today. I was thinking about some scriptures, and mainly what I was thinking about is the timing of God. And so there's a timing to God, and I have some situations going on in my life where I'm believing for some things, and it seems like I'm almost stuck at an impasse. Like in the natural, it seems like not much is moving, not much is happening, and so I was thinking earlier and just kind of talking to myself. Yeah, I do some of these things sometimes because you have to encourage yourself. There's sometimes that nobody's really going to be encouraged, there to encourage you, or it's one of those situations where you don't really share what everything's going on with you. So I was just kind of encouraging myself and pep talking myself, and so I was thinking about the timing of God and how his plans are and his time's just a little bit different from ours. Most of the time with us, we want it yesterday. I mean, that's just the way our flesh is. It's like, when do you want it? If not now, how about yesterday would have been better? And so anyway, that's what I was thinking about. And here in Habakkuk, this is probably not a book of the Bible that you are super familiar with and read a lot. I read through it annually for my annual reading, but it's not one that's super, you just sit down and go, oh, let's go to the book of Habakkuk and read it. But there's some good stuff in here. And in Habakkuk chapter 2, starting in verse 1, I'm going to read down through verse 4. It says, I will stand my guard post. I'm going to read out of the Amplified. Just because I think it expounds on what he's saying here just a little bit more. It's a little simpler, a little easier to understand than the King James Version in this particular passage. I will stand my guard post and station myself on the tower, and I will keep watch to see what he will say to me, and what answer I will give as his spokesman when I am reproved. Then the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and engrave it plainly on the clay tablets, so that the one who reads it will run. For the vision is yet for the appointed time. Future time is what the Amplified says. The vision is for the appointed future time. It hurries towards the goal of fulfillment. It will not fail, even though it delays. Wait patiently for it, because it will certainly come. It will not delay. Look at the proud one. His soul is not right within him, but the righteous will live by his faith in the true God. So there's a couple things in here, he's saying, watch and see, wait, look and see what's going on. Stand in your post and watch, wait, expect. And then he's talking about the vision that God gives you, the vision and where you fit in God's body, the body of Christ overall. However you want to talk about what the vision is. What is that vision to you? Where is your place? What are you believing for? What are you expecting? What are you doing? What's going on with you? I know in my life I'm thinking about a few things, and so I have a vision within me. And so in the process of that vision taking place, he says, write the vision and make it plain. It's one thing that we can do is write out our vision and look at it and think about it, study it. That's a good step of faith. And then he says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. God's timing is a lot different than our timing, but he has things set in order. And the best way that I've heard it described is God is an air traffic controller. If you're the pilot flying the plane then you're relying upon the air traffic controller, because he's the one that sees the whole picture. When he says, you know, climb to 30,000 feet with a heading of 180, as a pilot, you're supposed to climb to 30,000 feet with a heading of 180, because he's the one that knows where all the other planes are. He knows where you have to be to avoid a collision, or to get where your flight plans were telling him that, you know, that you're going. So he's the one that has the understanding of everything that's going on, the full big picture. And so when he tells you climb and maintain 30,000 feet heading 180, he's keeping you out of trouble. He knows what's going on. He knows, and likewise, he knows who he has to position. He knows where to put you on a course so that you intersect your blessings, so that you come into line with what he has for you. He knows, like, I'll give you another good example. My friend and his wife were believing for a house. And so they sat down and they had like a family meeting, and they asked, you know, the daughter, the main, you know, was the main one, that kind of like, we're believing for a house, and what would you want in a house? And so she wrote down her list of things that she wanted. And so they started believing for this house, and believing that God would show them the house and provide a way for them to get it. And he did. Showed them the exact house right near the grandparents' house that she had asked for, with an upstairs bedroom just like she had asked for. It had a nice study like he wanted. He's a minister, and he wanted a nice study in the house. It had that, and whatever the kitchen that my friend's wife wanted, like everything was there. And, you know, the Lord started showing them. And the interesting thing was, they weren't the original owners, but they were the second owners. But they started constructing that house the month that they moved from New York to Oklahoma. The very month that they started the construction on that house was the very month that they moved from New York to Oklahoma. You know, so the timing of God prepares the way before you. God prepares the path, and he knows how to get you there so that you intersect right at the right time. So if you're believing for something, if you're thinking about your vision and where you fit in, where you fit with things, you're thinking about taking a decision, you're thinking about changing a job, you know, those are things you should pray about and think about, and get the mind of God, because he's already in your future preparing the way before you, so that when you get there, it's already ready. He's got it prepared for you. And that's why the timing of God is just as important as the what or the where or the why. The timing of God is also important, because if the timing's not right, then you're out of sequence. You know, you're out of sequence. Let's say, I'll give you another example in the natural. Let's say you buy and trade stocks on the stock exchange. You know, if you're a couple days early, that stock can be up, and you buy in at a high price, and then it drops down, and you miss it. You know, you lose money on that. Or, you know, maybe you have a hot stock pick, and you know, you jump in it, and you got it for a good price, but you know, you're, oh man, the prices went up, and I'm gonna sell it off. You know, I had a chance to buy Bitcoin at $100. My coworker begged me to buy Bitcoin back when it was less than $100. It was right around $100. Mike, get into this with me. I thought it was unicorn dust. I mean, I didn't understand it, and I didn't. Had I bought that, kind of worth $100,000 per Bitcoin today. I could have bought 10 and went ahead and retired today at $100,000 a Bitcoin, but I didn't. You know, it's just one of those things. So the timing of things, the timing of God is just as important as the where, the why, the how, you know, something else to consider. Well, I think you get what I'm trying to say. You know, like I say, you're getting in on my pep talk to myself, so that I can just relax and trust God, believing that He's in charge and He knows what He's doing, and He'll move me in the right direction, and I'll make the right steps at the right time. As I like to say, I will be at the right time, right place at the right time with the right people. And I truly believe that God coordinates my life that way. So I hope you got something out of this today. Punch that thumbs up like button. Give us a like. Subscribe to the channel. And we'll talk to you soon. God bless.